Hi guys, welcome back to my XPS guide. Now I'm gonna review star player Tidus. So I must say he is pretty good, especially his stats. Okay, you can see that he gets 210% attack boost and 200% true double hand. That means you can easily max his stats, and his survivability is also pretty decent. Like you can see, he gets 100% defense boost. 40% spirit may be kind of small, but he has fatal damage protection. So yes, he is not squishy like Madam Adele. Okay, with decent health, 70% boost, I must say, whoa, I don't have any complaint about his passive. Okay, pretty bland, but pretty good. He also has 100% water resist. So if you fight enemies who use water, whoa, Tidus will be great. But the problem is, to get all this boost, you must equip sword as your main weapon. And maybe sword is not the best weapon for true double hand characters, okay? But if you have two double hand sword, then he is good for you. Okay, so enough about stats. Now let's take a look about his abilities. So Tidus able to become chainer and finisher. For a chainer, he is Stardust Ray Chainer, and you can care less about that quick hit chaining, okay, because it deals low damage and yeah, no one able to chain quick hit properly. And for element, he able to imbue himself with water, wind, and fire, which is really important because I have said he is a true double hand characters. So element will be one of your weakness, but having 3 elements for imbue, then he is pretty good. And because he has that water element, he can works really well against that recent Tiamat. For imperil, he only able to imperil 100 to 120% for water, but for other element it is only 80%. So still water is his strongest element. For rotation, I must say it's kind of confusing, at least for me. Okay, but if you make him into a finisher, then you don't need to worry about rotation. Okay, it is pretty simple. He also has supporting abilities. The first one is he able to give your party 100% water resist against. This is nice, but maybe not needed on most situations. And he able to buff your party 150% all stats. Okay, very nice, but I don't think you can ditch your buffer. Sure, he has 100% all stats buff, but at today we have that 180% to 200%. But let's say if you cannot bring a buffer on a battle, then I must say Tidus is really good character because yes, 100% while not high at today's standard, it is still pretty nice. And Tidus is really LB reliant character, whether for chainer or finisher, okay? Because if you take a look on his limit burst, it deals nice damage and it activates your triple cast and blitz spirit and physical training. This blitz spirit and physical training are set up abilities to make your finishing or chaining moves become more powerful. So let's talk about rotation now. So first, let's talk about chaining rotation. So for chaining, again, on the first turn you need to use his limit burst because you need that blitz spirit. Using blitz spirit will give you plus 6 times damage modifier on your get really pump, and your get really pump will become get super pump, which will give your party 150% all stats buff. Whoa, pretty decent. And also on the second turn, what you want to use is Blitz Spirit, Splash Hunt. Splash Hunt is for attack boost and water imperil. Okay, and get really pumped to deal little damage, and because it is used after Blitz Spirit, it will be upgraded, but it won't be shown on your abilities menu. And on the third turn, you can immediately use Get Super Pump. And like you can see that the damage is quite high. 162 times damage on that turn. So he can deal insane amount of damage on the third turn. But the problem is on the next turn you cannot deal that kind of damage, because I believe it, like other setup abilities, Bleed Spirit only applicable for one turn. So you need to use another Bleed Spirit on the next turn and repeat until you need to use your limit burst again. So I think that's kind of annoying if you compare it to his finisher. If you make Tidus into finisher, it is much simpler. On the first turn, you will use your limit burst. It won't deal high damage. On the second turn, you will use physical training. This physical training will fill your LB gauge to full and will increase your LB damage by 200%. Okay, after that you can simply imbue yourself with water element and impedal the enemy water element, and on the third turn you can use your LB again and tada, you will deal insane damage. If you don't have any LB damage boost abilities, so assuming you only get from passive and debuff, that means 250%, you only deal about 129.5 times damage, which is lower than Get Super Pump. But really guys, I believe you can achieve 100% LB damage boost easily. Okay, there is God or Goddess Insignia or whatever, okay, on the past Kianos Trust Master Reward, which is easily obtainable. So let's assume you're able to gather 100% LB damage boost. That means you gonna deal 166.5 times damage, which is awesome. So now I will give you party example. So the first party sample will use Adventurer Locke and Paladin Cecil as his chaining partner. Okay, those characters are Stardust Ray Chainer. So let's say when you want to use Stardust Ray as a finisher, Stardust Ray Tidus as a chainer, you can chain him with Adventurer Locke. Both of characters main water element, so they really compatible. And let's say if you want to use your limit burst, and that means you will use Tidus as a finisher, you can use Adventurer Locke and Paladin Cecil to chain, because remember Paladin Cecil able to chain with Stardust Ray. So that way Tidus damage will be optimized on both finishing and chaining side. Really good. But let's say this party, if you need to bring two tankers, let's say the battle is a little bit easier on defensive and you need more DPS, that means you only need one tanker, you can use the LB chaining party, okay, on the second recommendation. So Star Player Tidus, Mastermind Stone, and Aldor King Rain. Those three are really good combination. So Stardust Rain can finish while Stone and Rain deals limit burst damage. Okay, remember that both characters limit burst can chain together. Okay, really good. And let's say you want to chain your Tidus Stardust Ray, you can chain using Sun or Aldor King Rain, because those characters are Stardust Ray chainer. So really guys, really good characters and versatile. So enough about that, let's talk about equipment. So for equipment here, you can focus on true double hand and attack stats. After that, focus on limit burst damage. Okay, so if you want to make Tidus into chainer, then you probably don't need to bother on limit burst damage, but that's still useful because you still need to use his LB in few turns. Okay, you can see it on the screen. So enough about equipment. My conclusion for Tidus, so I must say Star Player Tidus is really flexible character. Okay, flexible not because through dual wield or through double hand, but because he can become chainer or finisher. So let's say the battle allows you to become more offensive oriented, then you can make Star Player Tidus into finisher, because yes, it deals higher damage, especially if you're able to stack lots of LB boosting abilities. Okay, but let's say the battle needs you to be more conservative, then yes, you can use Tidus as a normal chainer, because like you can see that his normal chaining moves are also powerful. And his stats is pretty decent. He can survive really well on most battle, unlike Madame Adele. So yes, Madame Adele is really good characters, okay? But oh, keeping her alive is your problem. And the things which I don't like from star player Tidus is probably his TMR and STMR. They are nice, don't get me wrong, but kinda niche. The Trustmaster reward, I have said this on preview, I prefer the Dark Knight Knowledge because the Demon Killer. But if you need water resist, this probably better, but yeah, kinda niche. Like I said, for the STMR, it is kinda unnecessary. Okay, it can save one turn for Tidus because it has innate water element, but really I don't think that's good idea, because that means he is fixed because water elemental attacker. Okay, that's really a problem. And actually, if you don't want to equip sword, if you want to equip great sword, you can do that because he only lose 50% attack. But yeah, you can equip great sword if you don't have two-handed sword. Okay, so I think that's all you need to know about star player Tidus. Really well-rounded character, but probably no one gonna pull for him because he is not a meta. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more Final Fantasy Private Exvius guide. Bye bye guys.